Welcome back to Dream of Mirror Online. Last time we went through a decent chunk of the in-basement, but I did not have the defense or the healing or anything to get through it. I finally hit a wall at the Cosmic Masters and it was a little bit disappointing, but what can you do? So I've decided I do actually need to train up Doctor a little bit, and so I'm going to be switching to Doctor for a while and we can get a look at what that job is like. I'll probably take it to the Swan Lake Basin again, maybe? You know what, I think so. I think the problem with doing it in the maze below the well is that some of the enemies there aggro. Swan Lake Basin, you don't really have anything besides area bosses which will aggro, so it's much safer to level up a Doctor there. I don't really have a good attack pool for Doctor at the moment, so it's going to be a bit slow going at first probably, but there's not much I can do. So the targeted attacks like Razzle Dazzle, Toughen Magic, and Magic Barrier, I don't believe require a sword, so I can put those on, and the Shaman abilities, the Nature Magic, Summer Sun, etc. I can put on. I do like to put the Taoist spells on when I have them because there's at least one spell that doesn't require a wand or a talisman and isn't Area of Effect, which is useless as a Doctor. But this is about all I've got for now. It's not very good, but it's about the best I can do. So let's just get dressed in our Doctor gear and look all pretty again. I do love the level 10 Doctor. Armor isn't really the best word, but I do love it. I think I accidentally tried to equip the tough leather helm because it looks like the Doctor's hat, which apparently I forgot to pull out of my bank. Well, anyway, we will deal with that later. Anyway, for now, let's talk a little bit about the Doctor. The Doctor naturally is much more focused on MP because you're going to be healing your teammates. So as you can see, we have base 17 wisdom and we do have high agility as well, base 13. Everything else is not great at all. That's not your focus as a Doctor. Your focus is going to be on your wisdom so that you have a lot of MP to work with, and Doctors largely are about working in parties, but you can just level them up solo by subbing in abilities from other jobs, and that way you can just use those abilities to heal yourself on the field in your other jobs. So agility is also good because that decreases your cooling time and increases your casting speed. That's going to be very useful in a party or when playing solo. And you also do get more evasion so that enemies hit you less. I still would say that doing a bit of dexterity is a good idea if you're going to be leveling up solo, because you do need to be able to hit things, obviously, but largely agility and wisdom. I'd say get agility to a level you're comfortable with and then focus on wisdom exclusively, probably. And then you can always say, I'm not entirely happy with my agility, I can put more points into it. But yeah, that's probably your best bet. Common builds, obviously, as I say, focus on wisdom, agility, and dexterity. Interestingly, a lot of the common builds which are recommended on the wiki are actually for solo play. It may be that because the server is smaller nowadays, there's not always as much space for fighting with other people, and as a result, you have a lot of people who do want to just do it solo. But I think that my general recommendation, which is don't just focus on one wisdom, one dexterity, one agility every level. You need to look at what's going on. But you also need to have in mind what abilities, what stats are worth putting points into. For instance, as I think I've said before, if you have something like a martial artist, you get very little benefit from putting points into wisdom. You could put all your points into wisdom and it would just not benefit you at all because you don't get much out of it. So it's definitely worth keeping that in mind. Which are the 3 stats which are most important, and then what base levels do I want to get them into, etc. Unfortunately, if you do make a mistake, you might have to buy a reset book, which is not very cheap. As I've said, I think they go for about 125k in the seller marketplace, user marketplace, but it's not that bad when you consider how much the monsters drop, so you can definitely get those if you really build a job badly and later on you find that you need to work on it more and reset it. Doctors, of course, don't have good proficiency with most weapons. They're pretty good with the wand, it's 80%, and then the fan and the musical instrument are 75, so anything other than that is not even worth trying. And I've actually found, as I've said, I've subbed out a job in my other character which had 70% proficiency in this other weapon, and it really wasn't very good. I think anything below 80% is probably not worth it, quite frankly. And here, of course, we have our abilities. Health Heist is one of the only things you can actually do to attack enemies besides stabbing them with your syringe. It will actually drain HP from the target and give it back to you. And then you get a higher level version, Heavy Health Heist, which will do even more. First Aid heals yourself or a target. And that's an advantage of Doctors, but a lot of these abilities can be put on different targets. Other jobs only have self-healing moves. A few of them do anyway. Doctors can put them on other targets. And then you get Greater Healing, which will do the entire team. Regeneration will increase your HP in increments over time. And then Inner Magic will do that for your NP. I believe it's much better than the Shaman's Spring Cleaning, but it takes much longer to unlock. So First Aid and Regeneration, and I think Inner Magic don't require a syringe. Greater Healing does, and of course Health Heist does. You are using the syringe. And then you have Detox, which will remove different status effects which cause HP loss, like poison. And Purify removes all good and bad status effects affecting the enemy. I'm not sure how useful that is. I could see that being useful sometimes if they are able to buff themselves, but I don't know if that's actually useful. If anyone has any opinions on that, and if I'm wrong and it is useful, please tell me, but I'm going to mark that as something to not put points into. Born Again can bring your teammate back to life when they die, and they only get a certain amount of their HP and their experience. And then Ultimate Healing just does a ton of HP, so that's really good, because basically then you have Greater Healing and Ultimate Healing as both as team HP healing things. You need to make sure that you always have one of those available. I used to play Doctor a lot in parties back in the day, back when I played the game and there were more people to play parties with. Also, I had friends playing the game and we were in a guild together, so we could usually train together. But nowadays, I'm not sure how much availability there is. I do get a lot of messages on the announcements saying so-and-so's team, so-and-so's guild beat the Trixie Turtle and all of this, and those are very high-level final bosses, you could say. So clearly there are still guilds. But I don't know that there are a lot of people who want to play at lower levels in parties anymore. Can't really speak for that. Frog's Leg Soup does not require a syringe, it uses a frog, that's why you need to hold on to those items, and it will restore HP, so you have more healing. And the Fantastic Frog's Leg Soup will do the area of effect again, so that's good. Then you have Frog Force, which will use a frog to increase your attack. Unfortunately, it does require a syringe, so you can't sub that out to other jobs and benefit from that, which is a shame. And then Yin Frog will increase your magical attack. Frog Force Field will increase your physical defense, while Young Frog will increase your magical defense. This obviously is more useful if you're going to be soloing as Doctor a lot in order to get in order to get good healing skills for your other jobs to sub out. It's not so good on your own, but you can actually use these on other targets. So unlike, say, the Fencer's abilities, which buff yourself, these can be put onto your teammates. So they could still be useful to put onto other people. So it could still be useful in a party. Prolong Life will increase your maximum HP, and again, you can put that on another target, whereas other jobs may have abilities like that, but they only work on yourself. For instance, Martial Artist has an ability which will increase your maximum HP, and it's really insane. It does a lot. I believe that as a martial artist at level 46, Mian Mian has about 3.6k base HP. When I use that ability, the martial artist version of the ability, I go all the way up to 5,000 hit points. Yes, really, it's really good. But it has the disadvantage that it can't be used on party members. Mega Magic Boost will increase your max MP, so obviously that's useful. Soup of Self-Preservation will put the enemy to sleep for 11 seconds, but it increases their defense and it does reduce their magical defense, so that's when you want to put a lot of spells on them. So again, that could be useful if you are soloing a lot and if you have some magical skills from jobs like Shaman and Taoist subbed in, but also, I guess if you're in a party and you're fighting a boss, that could also be useful. And then Mega Medicine, exclusive Doctor's magic that grants invincibility for a period of time. That's really good. So Doctor is very good, but it's hard to level up by yourself. That's why you probably need to sub in skills from other jobs. Okay, at this point, I'm gonna have to get another sheet up here. Oh, I have so much already. At some point, I'm probably gonna have to just get rid of some of these because I won't be able to use all of them. But for now, all of this should be useful, so that's something. I currently have Health Heist at level 1. and I don't have any point. Oh, you can get first aid right away. That's excellent. So now I have a healing move, which is better than the vitamin A pill. It doesn't tell you how much it does. I might quickly look that up. I should have thought to get a visual of that, but I didn't. I apologize. However, let's look at first aid. How much HP? It doesn't tell you. The wiki does not tell you. I'm going to guess, but it's probably based on a whole bunch of factors. But it doesn't tell you. That's interesting. It does not tell you how much HP it recovers. Is it based on your percentage of HP? Is it based on the level of the spell? Does it do a set amount of HP? No information, none whatsoever. But anyway, at least I have that. And then Frog's Leg Soup I would be able to unlock at level 14, so that's a while away. So yeah, you have to endure a little bit with some of these before you can do a lot. As said, this was not, there's regeneration. That does HP in increments of 5 for 420 seconds. It's not a lot, but it's lasts longer than Bolstering Broth at least. And the next level up of regeneration will probably be a bit better. So yeah, it's not incredible at this stage, but honestly, it's better than nothing. All right, so I'm gonna have to work on the doctor, and I'm going to go to Swan Lake Basin to do that, and you'll get a little glimpse of how much more difficult it is to level up as doctor than it is as other jobs. But first, let me clean up my inventory. All right, I'm in Swan Lake Basin again, and I did pick up a pull request from Sasha. Wait, I need to pick up both of them. The Little Dairy Poo and the Pure White Poo Poo. I don't know that I'm going to complete her quest all over again because it does take a while, but we'll just see. I'm going to be fighting them anyway, so I might as well. Alright, I do have Razzle Dazzle, Toughen Magic, and let's see, I can now use Summer Sun and Health Heist, and that will do a lot of damage. Wow, that's actually really good. So that does help, but we need more agility so that refreshes faster. But yeah, that actually does do a lot of damage, and Razzle Dazzle is going to help lower the enemy's accuracy while I'm stabbing them with my syringe. I do find that very funny, but what can you do? Doctors are not really for fighting. However, fortunately we get experience very quickly at the low levels, and if I can just get into maybe the mid to high teens, for now that's honestly good enough for me. I totally forgot about Heat Stroke, but quite frankly I don't need it yet, maybe when I'm up against the Dairy Poo Mamas. For now, this seems to be going just fine, even if I don't have a lot to work with. Razzle Dazzle helps a little bit, and they're not hitting very hard. Health Heist is definitely doing a decent chunk of HP. So that's not bad at all. I don't even need first aid yet. Yeah, I've been very unimpressed by the vitamin A pills. They're terrible. 80 HP is just not very much. Even at level 10, it's really not that great, and it's just gonna get worse later on, so I'm not too impressed. Toughen Magic also makes a big difference. I wish it lasted longer, but oh well. It's hard to keep track of the 50-second buffs. When they last for 3 minutes, that's a lot easier to keep track of, but 50 seconds just keeps happening over and over so quickly. Anyway, I really wanted to just keep going as Spencer, but I can't handle the Castmasters and I need to thus reassess, and I decided that it's a good time to pick up Doctor because I'm clearly struggling sometimes when I need to heal and I don't have any healing abilities. So it's probably better to just pick up Doctor and get that. And I can show you that honestly First Aid and Regeneration are probably better than a lot of the medicine you can make. Maybe not immediately, for example. I do think that the Bolstering Broth is not bad at this level. It's not the best ever, but for now, it's better than level 1 of Regeneration, but I feel like Regeneration is going to level up to be beyond it fairly quickly. Alright, we are getting some decent drops out of this too, so I'll make some money, and we're getting close to level 10, but you see it's definitely taking longer than on some of the other jobs. And I forget that I have a combo which I need to work on. Oh look, that was the bee. Oh well, I want to use it when the enemy is fresh and I'll actually benefit from using it. Feather, and no, we missed the bee again. Oh well. I need another Razzle Dazzle. Do wish it lasted longer, but it is a decent ability, even if it's a fairly short duration, because I do have decent agility, but yeah, they're just missing me. So that's actually really good. It is making a difference, I think. Use that bee! There we are, super combo. And this one is still alive, but it's fine. I just really wanted to use it on an enemy which would actually benefit from it. As in, I would benefit from it. Obviously, the enemy doesn't benefit from it. So here we are, we're almost to a level already. It does go very quickly at this first level, so that's good. And then I can see about where to allocate some of my points. I would probably first do agility. Long term, obviously, wisdom is more important, but I think agility is good for now because I'm just running around beating things up. I need to not die, especially since I don't have a lot of ranged attacks. So I'm going to get agility up 2 more points, and then I think I will add a bit more dexterity because I don't want to miss things. And then once we've got dexterity into the low teens, I can probably just focus on agility and wisdom. So there we are for now. And I can do another level of health heist. That's about it for now. Regeneration is level 13, so I guess leveling up health heist so I do more damage is fine. It doesn't feel like the best thing to put your points into, but early in the game like this, early in the doctor job like this, it's fine. So you can see that does a lot of damage. Didn't even put on toughen magic. And the agility is helping with the cooldown. By the time I finished poking this one, I'm almost ready to start on another one. Alright, I'm just gonna do that until I get to level 12 or something like that. You can see it's definitely taking a little bit longer to fight the poo-poos like this, but I just want to get a few levels of the healing spells. It doesn't have to be all the way. As long as I can heal myself in the field at all and do a little bit more in the vitamin A pill, which I have not been very impressed by, then that'll be fine by me. Alright, so I'm now at level 13 and I'm about halfway through and I'm ready to fight the Dairy Pumamas again. I did take the risk of sneaking past the Pearly Frog's range of sight because I would like to go to the Medicine Monarch's Memorial and get to the recipe that's there. I figure while I'm here in Swan Lake Basin, I might as well get all the recipes which are available in the area. Let's see how I do against the Dairy Pumama. You can definitely see that I'm not doing as much damage to them as to the little babies, which I was beating up so quickly. Let's see, I just need to decide what to do here. I still don't need regeneration though. But I found that level 2 regeneration is going to do 8 HP increments, which is already almost better than the bolstering broth, and the next level after that will be better than it, even more so. So, yeah, it's like, is it really worth it? But I did find something that's really good. Soup of Self-Preservation does not say so, but it does damage to the enemy. That one was already hurt, but you can see it does damage to the enemy, and then it puts them to sleep. I will show you again in a minute. Obviously, we can't do a lot with that right now, but there is one little issue with the Soup of Self-Preservation, and it's the same as other spells like Hypnosis. When you put an enemy to sleep, if you physically attack them, then they will wake up. Which makes sense, of course, but that is going to be a little bit of a problem when it comes to taking advantage of that. So I would recommend, it's a shame I don't have something like Chant of Impure Thoughts, which is the Taoist spell that doesn't require the talismans or the wand, because then I could use these in conjunction. But I need Doctor right now because I'm getting hurt too much, so there you are. Anyway, I am doing decently, except for my physical attack is obviously not very good, but I am making progress. I'm almost to level 14 already. Almost, for a certain value of almost. But we're getting there. And it is really worth it. I figure while I'm in Swan Lake Basin again, I'm going to pick up all the recipes and I'm going to try again to do the qualification for the thief, or at least to start it, because that would be really useful. It looks like the sleep didn't quite work. Maybe it was because I put the hex on. I should probably do Heat Stroke and then Soup of Self-Preservation. You're not going to be increasing the damage output by doing it in the other order, because this is just a base set amount of damage that it does. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Okay, good to know. I'm really not doing a lot of physical damage with a little syringe, but what can you do? Making progress. Okay, Heat Stroke is back, so let's use that. And then the Soup of Self-Preservation. And we can see how much more damage that'll still do. That gets them very near to the end. So now we only have to poke them a few times. So that does work in conjunction, although it's not as good as having a proper magic attack to benefit from the lowered magical defense of Super Self-Preservation. You could also do Super Self-Preservation and then Health Heist, and that would two-shot them, so that's good. But it would have been nice to have more spells subbed in, but I don't have a wand as a doctor, so there's not much I can do about that. a few points into dexterity because I was finding that I do want to have some accuracy, given that I'm currently fighting things, but mostly I'm focusing on agility and wisdom. And so far it seems to be paying off, especially for the cooldown time. That is going pretty well. Super self-preservation plus health heist is two-shotting them, so that's great. Alright, so there's not much more to talk about right now. I just wanted to kind of update you on that. Super self-preservation is actually really good. It's unfortunate that it needs the syringe because otherwise I feel like you could sub it out to other jobs really effectively, but it's still good. I do like it a lot. Alright, we need the G and then we can do that, and that nearly one-shots them well. Even though I don't have good physical attack, the combos are just really good. So yeah, super self-preservation actually really good. Very much worth it, I highly recommend. Alright, so this is a little bit of something interesting I did find. I reported back with the Deripu Mama quest, and I've done all the others in order, and she does not give me the final quest. So it seems like these quests, you cannot redo the final one with the Deripu Dadas in order to get the special gear again. That is a little bit unfortunate, because the rewards for this quest otherwise are not that great. That's honestly the one where it's like, yes, that's worth it. So we can't really do that, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not a big deal. One thing I also wanted to show you was the map with the recipes. I don't remember if I put that up in the episode before this, which was in Swan Lake Basin. So here it is. I already got the leather anklet, the cloth slippers, and now I need to get the other stuff which is available in the southern side, minus the silver shoes. That's for the level 40 light armor, no, clothing set, not light armor. It's the level 40 clothing set, so you don't need it anytime soon, which is a good thing because the enemies there are really powerful and you can only fly there. So yeah, at this point what I'm going to need to do is go to Tranquilton, get the recipes there, and also see if I can initiate the quest that's required to get the thief qualification. Let's see how that goes. That's probably going to be my goal today, although honestly at this point I'm almost tempted to head into Copperhorn. Although really I could probably just do some training here still. The little Deripoos probably aren't going to be giving good experience, but the Deripu Mamas are doing just fine. I also did unlock Frog's Leg Soup, so now I have 2 different healing abilities. I would only sub in the first one, which gives me regeneration and also first aid, because subbing in all healing abilities to your job is kind of you only have 2 slots, unless you're a commoner, in which case you have more slots, so maybe as commoner you could. But overall that's not worth it, and I've been babbling for so long, but we're almost at Tranquilton, so we might as well just do that. Now, super self-preservation plus level 3 health heist is a 2-shot on the Deripu Mamas, so that is very good. I do wish I had more firepower than that, but what can you do? I also put some more points into wisdom. I do think agility is very important. As you can see, my cooldown is pretty good. That little bit of babbling and we already have more. There we are. But yeah, it's definitely, I do wish I had more, but this is working out for now. And then of course I can do Heatstroke Hex. I could freeze the enemy so they can't attack me while they're being damaged by that. So there are some things you can do that are not entirely useless. I do really like how Tranquilton looks. And here we are. I do have some stuff to sell. I might as well sell it because I don't know if I'll be needing it. If I do, then I can always just get more, it's fine. But for now, I feel like saving up money is really important. At this point, as much as I did talk about wanting to craft the level 20 armor, I'm somewhat tempted to just go to Darkdale and buy it for now, but I don't know. I could craft it as the thing. I just need to be able to fly to get the recipes. I don't even technically need to be able to fly. I could walk around. There are very few enemies in Placid Plain where the recipes are that will aggro. So, maybe I should just go to Placid Plain. The lowest level enemies there should be okay, and I could get those recipes and start dealing with that. Alright, so the Big Burglar is not who we want to talk to. I believe there is someone called Baby Burglar in Tranquilton, although I can't see him, and the recipes that we need are also in Tranquilton. So first we need to go here. There's one recipe pot in this area up north by the pier. Wait, no, not there. Up here. There is a recipe pot here, and I just will show you this area. Because why not? There is a quest you can do here once you have learned to fly, which will increase your flying speed. This old man we're going to see in a moment is training Flying Poo-Poo to fly properly up in the sky. And I think if we strain our eyes and our camera, we can actually see a flying poo-poo up there. You have to go for that quest and find a bunch of flying poo-poos, and he will then say, congratulations, your flying speed is now increased. And it's worth increasing them a little bit. You know, I wonder if the baby burglar is actually around here. Anyway, I would like to pick up that quest so that I can then get the thief qualification and start working as a thief in the future. Let's see if I can find the baby burglar. He might be here. Here he is. So that's the problem is we don't talk to him first. It's the big burglar over there first. It's the baby burglar. Alright, so we're going to also get the thief qualification this episode. Excuse me, how do I go about joining your group of bandits? How did you know I was a bandit? With a name like Baby Burglar, if you're not a bandit, then what are you? Ah. You haven't committed any shameful deeds now, have you? Not at all. It's just that my brothers and I were doing some stealing, and we accidentally ended up taking something from the big boss. Tell me how to join, or I'll take you all to the big boss herself. Ugh. If you work out how to get the big boss's belongings from the chest and give them back to her, she may let you join. I have the key to the chest. If you want it, give me 126 gold. Alright. This is the key to the treasure chest. Don't tell anyone I gave this to you. The chest is with Big Burglar in Tranquilton, and Second Brother came up with some ideas and is now in the mines in Eversun South. I'm going to talk about that. Second Brother. A thing in Chinese is that, in Mandarin specifically, is that you actually have, because you have such large families, people would actually number their family members. You know what, I'll finish that in a sec. Our big boss has been hanging around the guild castle recently. Okay, so I know how to do this. You can actually try to talk to him again if you refuse the first time, and he might give you a better price, but I don't care, I just want to do it. So, because Chinese families were so large, it's very common to number family members. This is not a thing which necessarily translates to other East Asian languages. They don't do that in Japanese, for example. But in Chinese, you do that. So for instance, your brothers might be Dago, which literally means first brother, the older brother. Ge is older brother. You could also say Gege, which is more cutesy. You usually hear girls doing that. And you can also call a boyfriend that. You will hear that a lot in romance stories. And then you will have Arge, which is second brother. So that's what he's really calling him, Arge. Because it's also used in some things like probably some gangs, and also like in cultivation stories, sects will use those terminologies for their siblings. Or they have other terms which are specific to sects. It's Shi Di, which would be younger brother, younger martial brother or sect brother. And Shi Shong, which would be your older sibling in the sect, and they could also number each other. And so that's how it works. You also do that with things like uncles and aunts and things like that, because you have so many of them traditionally. So if you didn't do that, what would you do? Well, you could just call them by name and then the honorific, but that's a little rude. You never refer to your older siblings by name in Chinese or Japanese, or I think also in Korean. It's just considered really rude. You don't do it ever. And that's where sometimes translations of stuff like that sounds really awkward. Once you know that they're kind of doing it wrong, you can never sort of unhear it. It always sounds really awkward to your ears or to your eyes if you're reading something. But anyway, that's how it is. And I do think that things like second brother, third brother don't translate very well into English. There is one drama I tried watching, although I didn't really like it very much in the end. And the main character is the fifth of 5 siblings, so you know what they call her? Xiao Wu, which literally means little 5. And they translate it that way in the subtitles and in the book. Why? It sounds bad. But anyway, I'm just very particular about that stuff. So now you know why he's calling him second brother. So here's the big burglar, and we need to talk to him. This is broken. It can't be used anymore. Go and look for Arga in the mines in Eversun South. He's got the key mold. Okay, so I need to do that first, but I don't really want to do that yet. I can get another recipe in this area over here. So I will be doing that as well as getting the rest of the recipes, and I suppose I will not be doing Darkdale just yet. It's fine. I have my own plans. I will just go train a bit and get the last recipes in this area. I believe at this point, all I'm going to need is the recipe which is in this area. And there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do in this area. There are a lot of important NPCs, so that's going to be good. And the north recipes I'll have to do when I'm in the north, obviously. I haven't been to the north yet. So there we are. We need to now walk through Tranquilton and do that. So I can get the thief qualification, and I'll be able to do thief another time and train it up so I can get pilfer. That's going to be very important so I can steal recipes. Unfortunately, pilfer is a little bit annoying to use. It has a very low success rate. I think I've mentioned this before. I have heard that your luck does influence it. So for instance, fighting chance influences your chance of getting successful pilfer, and provider's providence influences your chance of getting a good item out of it, like the recipe you want. Pretty much you don't want the pilfer for anything else. You can get little things like a tiny bit of gold, but really all you want out of it is the recipes. So I will have to work on thief at some point and do that, but for now, I really need the healing as doctor. And yeah, thinking about it, I may have to abandon the in-basement for now and maybe just go to Placid Plain next and get the recipe box I need. And oh goodness, here's another Pearly Frog. He's level 20, I cannot fight him. Let's see if I can just, if I'm in his range of sight here, because I really want to get in this area. Please, if he does chase me, there are some royal guards nearby because this farm has obviously some farming collection stuff. So I could survive potentially by doing that. That's actually a really good strategy. The royal guards can kill any monster in one hit. I don't know, apparently to be a royal guard you need to be an incredibly skilled warrior, so that's good. You can definitely ask them to save your life if you're in trouble. So the brother we need to talk to is here, and when you want the martial arts qualification, here is the martial arts master you need to talk to, but I'm not going to do that yet. Wait, I could. You only need to survive one hit from him. I think I could probably do that. Maybe. Alright, here is Bronze Bangle, the last recipe I can get in this area. You know, why not get the qualification while you're in the area? You know what, I'm gonna look it up. I think that he takes a certain amount of HP. Sorry for the clicky noises while I'm recording, but I think that's good to know. So he will do 300 HP, so yeah, I'm fine. That will hurt, but I'll be fine. So I'll also do that qualification quickly, why not? So here we are. I need to find the other guy. He's in this area, I just need to find him. I told you I have a bad sense of direction. And I needed to look that up. I can't remember what his name is. Is that in my quest list? Thief qualification, I need to find... Oh, I need to go to the mine, of course. The last thing I have to do is come here. She's going to be around the boss is going to be around the guild. So I'm going to talk to the martial arts master and get that qualification as well. Won't be picking up martial arts yet, but at least it's done. A student of martial arts should always take care of their physique. Master, I want to be a martial artist. Do you think I can do it? If you want to be a martial artist, you have to take the trial. It's a simple test. I'll punch you once, and if you're okay afterwards, you pass. Those who are too weak may die from my punch. Even if I kill you, you won't lose any experience or gold. If anything unfortunate happens, you can die in peace. No, I'm not sure I can take it. I quit. Oh, it's fine. I checked. I have enough HP. Go ahead, master. Good. Now take that. Oh, well, that hurt a bit, but I'm okay. Oppress the weak? That's a terrible move name. You can take my punch. Now that's real martial arts potential. I hereby grant you the martial artist qualification. You now possess the martial artist qualification. Thank you, master. No, I am not going to go to the dojo. Well, we did that, and now I need to heal. But there we are. At this point, we need to go to Eversun South to the mines in order to continue the thief quest. So I'm probably just going to train a little bit on the way back and do that as well. This is basically doctor plus getting other job qualifications episode, I guess. Honestly, even this level, in fact, let's see how much first aid does. That's not bad. That did most of my HP. I didn't check, I'd already healed a little bit, but yeah, that's really good. And I only have it at level 2, so yeah, that's really good. That is really, really, really good. I am very pleased with that. But anyway, it is time to get out of here and not be killed by the Pearly Frog. And I know I'm like, no, let's not go to Copperhorn or Darkdale yet, but honestly, as a doctor, I need to stick to enemies which are a little bit weaker, and I don't want to be picking up any big quests as that job yet. Maybe when I do Thief, I could do a little bit of Swan Lake Basin training and then move on to Copperhorn Mountain. That would be a good time to finally... I totally missed him. That would be a good time to finally pick up that area and train there. But at the moment, I really, really do have that goal of getting ready to fly, and I think I need the level 20 armor to do that. So weirdly enough, I might wind up not doing it just yet. On the other hand, yeah, I'm just debating this a lot. Fortunately, I was able to outrun the Pearly Frog, so that's no problem. At this point, I'm just going to be training in this area a little bit, and then I'll probably continue the Thief qualification in a bit. Thief is also going to be useful both for Pilfer and because Premonition will increase your evasion by a lot. Although the difference between casting cooldown and the spell duration is pretty uneven. We'll see how much agility helps with that though. Alright, I've made it to the mines, and here is the Between Burglar. Let's see what he has to say. What you have here is the key little Sam stole, but it seems to be broken. Yeah, it looks like it. I have a key mold. If you want it, give me 237 gold. Yeah, sure, I just want to get this done. Okay, here you go. You have to go to a locksmith around Swan Lake Guild Castle and make a new key. Alright, I have to go all the way back there, and I can't fly. It's fine. Thank goodness for auto walk, best feature in the game. I think probably the auto walk can take me up here. It does get confused sometimes in these very, very far away areas, but I'll just see how it goes. But yep, now we just need to auto walk there. So see you in a minute. I have found the locksmith we need to talk to here in the farm. So here he is. You have key mold? Yes, please cut a key for me. It costs 36 gold to cut a key. I can only make one at a time. No problem. The key is ready, here you go. Come again when you want to cut some more keys. And I have to take that back to... Who do I have to take it to next? Because if I have to go back to the mine, I will scream. No, I have to find the big burglar in Tranquilton, so that's no big deal. If I had to go back to the mines again, I would possibly be a little bit annoyed, because that's a bit too much back and forth for me. Sorry, I accidentally hit some sort of shortcut that I did not mean to hit. So I have decided that I am going to get Doctor to level 16 for the time being, before I return to some other jobs. I actually tested it. I let an enemy hurt me quite a bit. I used level 2 first aid and it did about 200 HP. So that's pretty good. At the next level up, I should be able to get the next level of regeneration and the next level of first aid. And I think that for the time being, that should do me pretty well. So at the moment, what I would like to do is just bite some stuff and see how that goes. Unfortunately, that is not quite enough to take care of the Dairy Pudatas. They are level 15, same level as me. You might want to fight the Orange Whooping Grass, they're level 14. I usually find an enemy 1 or 2 levels below you. Still gives decent experience, but doesn't nearly kill you, so that's usually a good idea. But anyway, I think that just getting a little bit more as far as HP recovery would be nice, and then I may be ready to try some other quests again. Although I'm still not sure about the Cosp Master. Okay, I'm a little worried about the frog, but I can outrun him. I was just trying to avoid you, sir, please. Alright, we just need to stay out of his line of sight. Fortunately, their line of sight is not incredibly good, so I was able to avoid him this time and not get killed. And I'm already at 11% experience. Fortunately, you do level up very quickly in these getting to have a basic level of proficiency in some of these jobs is not too difficult. And now we have a bunch of Dairy Mamas, so we're getting close to Tranquilton and we can finish up the thief qualification. Since I do want to train Doctor a bit more, I don't know if I'm going to be teleporting to the dojo yet. On the other hand, well, the thing is, at this point, this is a really good spot to train. If I went somewhere else, I would have to deal with enemies aggroing on me, whereas the Orange Whipping Grass will not, and they give good experience. So I'll probably stay here and I can just use my portal penny next time, no big deal. I'm not going to be picking up Thief just yet, although I will want to do it soon-ish in order to get the stuff that I need. Here he is. But I don't need it just yet. Alright, Big Burglar. Come here, talk to me. How come you have the key to our chest? Let's make up something to fool him. Your brother sent me to get some treasure from you. Really? Why didn't they come themselves? They're still trying to get rid of the big boss, so they can't come. I see. Just open the chest beside me and get it yourself. Okay. Oh. Yikes, there's something strange in the box. Cat Burglar's Veil. What now? I actually don't remember this part quite so well. It looks like you've got a special talent. Look at what you've picked there. Okay, I actually don't remember what I do with this next. Oh! I talked to Bridget Love. She's back at the farm, isn't she? At least most of the back and forth is just in the Tranquilton area. Only a little bit of it is elsewhere. So yeah, I need to go back to the farm again. No problem. It's over this way. It's fine, then I'll be in this area to train after that. Bridget Love will give me the qualification, I believe. This is one of the more involved job qualifications. A few of them are a little more detailed than others, but this is definitely up there as far as the job qualifications go. And then, I think the Taoist also does require you to do a bit of questing, and you have to fight an enemy and things like that. Actually, you have to exercise something. So that one is a little involved, but not as involved as this one. Having to go between two different areas, back and forth, back and forth. But I suppose Thief is the fussy job, so it makes sense. At least she's back by the farm, because seriously, if I had to do too much back and forth, I would probably... Well, I wouldn't scream, but I would be a little bit annoyed since I can't fly and this is taking a while to walk everywhere. But here we are, just need to keep avoiding that boss and not get myself killed. And Bridget Love, I remember seeing her back around here. So not a big deal now, we're nearly done. And I think the last thing I'm going to do in this episode, it might just be a little shorter, I will just get the Doctor up to level 16, and then next time we can see about taking advantage of my healing and see if I can do a little bit more as a fencer without getting the next set of armor, because I want to craft it. I really want to craft it, but I can't yet. Okay, here she is. She looks like a normal human girl wearing the beginner's equipment, but... Hold on, what's that thing you're holding? Is this yours? Would you sell it to me? She must be dangerous. Can I really trust her to buy something from me? Oh darn, I want to check what you're supposed to do. It's not that big a deal. If you do it wrong, you just have to have to do some stuff again. But let's look at the thief qualification information, because the wiki is excellent. So we do in fact have to refuse her. And then if you do say yes, then she'll run away and you'll have to wait and walk away until she respawns. So good thing I looked it up. I do not want to sell. You aren't going to sell it to me? Then how about trading it for something? Considering how frightened those three bandits were, can I believe that she really wants to trade with me? Nope. Let me guess, you want to become a member of the bandits. Yes, I want to become a thief. No problem, now give it to me. It's not easy being a thief. Do you know that I am the boss of the thieves in this area? I'll let you join us since you returned my personal belongings to me. I'd hereby grant you the thief qualification. If you want to change your job, come back and see me again. Next time you see me, you have to call me ma'am, okay? Oh, she's gone. I wanted to see her closer up. No, I'm not going to teleport because I need to train Doctor. But there we are. We now got 2 new job qualifications in 1 episode, as well as training Doctor up a good bit. So I'm just going to train Doctor up a little more, and I might want to, at that point, do an experiment and see how much HP I get out of the next level of first aid. Because I do think it'll probably be pretty good. Okay, I just got Doctor up to level 16 and I'm going to do a few things with it, even though honestly at this point it's not strictly necessary. I'm going to say more agility and more wisdom. And as far as this, it is necessary. You do also unlock Born Again, but this is really useful in parties. You can't use it on yourself. I'm pretty sure you can't because, you know, you're dead. So it's not really useful if you're just doing single player. But here I do get the next level of regeneration, which does 8 HP increments. So that is now just 1 HP under bolstering buff. So that's really good. And once you get level 3, it does 12 HP. I wouldn't say it's the best HP recovery move unless you get to the very high levels, but it does make a difference. Ooh, that starts at 7 MP, and that one is better than Spring Cleaning. Let's see. But you need level 33 to unlock it and level 6 regeneration, so you won't get that anytime soon. I am curious. Alright, these are Frog Force Field and Frog Force. That'll increase your physical attack, that will increase your physical defense, which can be cast on other targets, so it is useful even if you're in a team. But at the moment, my main focus is on getting the next level of first aid. It does not tell me how much it does, but one thing I can do is fight an enemy and let it beat me up a bit, and let's see how much damage, and let's see how much it heals approximately. In fact, if I just click away for a sec, he'll just start hitting me. I know that's weird, but I want to get my HP to a relatively low level-ish, not too low. Currently we're at minus 145, 173, 163. I'm regenerating slowly just by nature. 218, 236, 264, 291. Okay, that's approximately where I need to get away from him. And we're at about minus 300. Let's see if that does. Okay, so that does still not quite everything, but it regens really quickly and then you can use it again. I do need more agility for better casting speed, but it does do a fair bit. So it is absolutely worth it. It's definitely at this point going to be better than the vitamin B pill, which you could buy in the store or craft if you go to Copper Horn and get the recipe. But yeah, it could be a little better, but it's not bad at all. And it is definitely better than constantly looking for those items or crafting them, and when you get it leveled up a little more, which I could if only I had, I don't know, some spells to help me level up Doctor more. But I don't have that, so for now, honestly, that's good enough for me. And you can see that it does a pretty good job. I wish I could test it a little more effectively, but yeah. I'm not very good at maths and my HP is constantly changing as I naturally regenerate anyway, especially thanks to that item I have, so yeah, I can't get a perfect measure of exactly how much HP it does, but you can see it does a pretty good job. Let's get away from him. I'm actually going to freeze him first. This way, when I test, I don't have him still hitting me. Alright, minus 224, minus 26. So it does 200 HP, pretty much. I'd say that's a decent estimate. And that's pretty good at this stage. That's definitely better than the pill, and you only need to get Doctor up to level 16 for it. So yeah, I'd say it's definitely worth doing that. If you had a few more spells, it would obviously be easier to level up Doctor to this stage, but it's worth it. It's not bad. I might want to go back to Tranquilton and sell some of my stuff and get away from that Pearly Frog. Just make sure I'm nowhere near him. But at this point, I think that we're about done for today. So yeah, it was definitely worth leveling up Doctor, and I'm going to see next time how much benefit Fencer gets from that, or if I really desperately just have to get the next set of armor with no waiting at all. I'm not sure. It's annoying because I'd really like to craft it, both because I'm not exactly that rich, and because you get so many benefits to the armor for crafting it, but I just don't know if I can get away with it. I really don't. But Anyway, for now, that's about all I was planning on doing for this episode. I did get 2 new job qualifications and I got the healing abilities I needed as a doctor, so that was a very successful episode. And hopefully now I won't be quite so squishy as a fencer if I have some healing abilities. Can you stop looking at that merchant? There we are. As always, thank you so much for watching and please join me again next time. Until then,